mic, man.
I don't need the mic, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you need the mic. Every time someone says they don't need the mic, they need the mic.
You knew my mom.
Now listen, I want to preface his testimony by saying Bobby has probably only been coming to Midtown for about 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And in that short period of time, he's recognized that he needs to be here and he needs to be plugged in. He was looking for a place to teach him the Bible. Now, we don't have everything figured out, okay? But this is one thing we take really seriously, and I'm really glad. I want to tell you in front of everybody, I'm really glad that you're here, and I'm thankful for what the Lord's doing in your life, and I can't wait to see what the next 2 years looks like. If 2 months looks like this, I wonder what 2 years will be like. So go ahead and please share with us.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name's Bobby. Most of you probably know me. There's still a lot of you I haven't met, so I'm sorry about that. I'm kind of slow, master procrastinator. So I just thought I'd share a little bit about where I'm coming from, where I'm going, and then a little bit about the retreat too, and hopefully get it in under 3 minutes if all possible. Just a little background, like my parents are missionaries to West Africa. Grew up in a very Christian household, like my whole immediate family is saved. And then I came to UMKC. This is my 4th year in Kansas City. Came to UMKC. I'm in the 6-year medical program. In that first year, they make you do like 85 or 90% of your undergrad degree in about a year and a half. So I took 45 credits my first year in college, which is like insane. That's like like a third of your full degree. So so the math didn't add up there. But anyways, so I got really burned out after that first year. I just started watching like tons of Netflix. Seriously, I'm ashamed of the amount, I won't even tell you the amount of hours. And but all that just led to complete burnout, and I just stopped caring, right? I became apathetic and indifferent to what was going on around me. I was going to class, doing what I needed to do, but didn't really care or see much value in what I was doing anymore. And obviously, that spilled over into my walk with God, because God is a large part of my identity. So, so I stopped going to church. I had gone to Graceway that first year on and off. Got connected with a guy there named Micah that Brandon knows, and he's involved with international medicine, and that's what I'm hoping to do at some point. And so I met on and off with him, even through these last 2 years that I haven't been going to church regularly. And then about 2 months ago, I woke up and God was like, Bobby, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, bro? You're wasting this life. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I just got down and I repented that Thursday. And the next Friday, Micah and I had a meeting set up, and I met with him, and I was like, hey, I'm really ready to get back in the body. Do you have any suggestions? And he's like, I go check out Midtown. He's like, they're really solid. I think you'll really like them. Go check them out. So then the first Sunday I came here, I had gone 20 yards into the church, and 3 people were like, oh, I don't recognize you. Here's my name. Cheryl was one of the first people I met. So of course, didn't really have much of a choice in going to C&YA afterwards. So that was pretty awesome, just to see this church really comes together, and really invests in people and making sure that they do become disciples. We didn't even know me, but hey, how's it going? And so I'm hoping still to go into international medicine. So after I graduate, my dream, not to say that this is God's put his blessing on this or anything, but I'd really like to start 10 hospitals and orphanages between Central Africa and Southeast Asia, so do a little loop through the Middle East. And people spend their whole lives doing one, so by no means does that have to be the end goal, but that's what I'm building towards. And recently over the retreat too, I was really challenged by what Eric said, and that he was trusting God to provide for him a job that would keep him a part of this body until he was ready to be sent. He didn't want to be a monk one. So that was really challenging to me, because it can be hard to get into residency after medical school, especially if you want to be a surgeon. It can be even more tightly focused. And so just trusting God that he puts me in a hospital in Kansas City where I can still be a part of this body until I'm ready to be sent. So that was one thing I got from the retreat, so that's a nice little segue. So I guess the retreat for me, to be honest, I was kind of neglecting my personal devotionals with God, really making minimum effort, probably only 15 to 30 minutes a day, about a week and a half going into retreat. So I came into the retreat empty, not the ready to be filled type of empty, And so when we were studying all this out, it just blew my mind, learning about the context and learning. There are 16, 17 principles, I think. We didn't even get to all of them. And I thought, like, before that, like, if I busted out a commentary, like one commentary to like study the Word of God, I was doing like aces. So it was like really humbling for me. But through that, God grabbed my heart and was like, man, like, do you love me? You know? Like, you can see throughout the whole Bible, like, I mean, God created man out of love, you know, in his own image. Like, even when Adam and Eve, like, sinned, he didn't just come down on them and judge them. He's like, where are you? You know, because for the first time there was that separation. Throughout the whole Bible, I mean, every book speaks to Christ and the love that God has for us. I mean, to the point like Romans 5:8, you know, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us, like even when we're at our worst. Like he still comes and meets us where we're at. And so he's like, all right, like that's me. Like I've made the first step, first of many steps in every area. Like, are you ready to meet me? Because it's not a relationship until it's reciprocated. And so, while I haven't been giving it my best. I haven't been honoring him. And he's like, man, the degree, like, the word. Yeah, I didn't bring my Bible up over there. That was weird. So the word is my heart. Like, this is the cry of my heart. Like, you have me in this book. So do you want to know me? Do you want to love me through that knowledge? And so, like, the degree to which you study this word, the degree to which you apply yourself, like 2 Timothy 2:15, that you would be a workman unashamed, is the degree to which you reciprocate that love. Not that my love will be conditional on that, but the more you do that, the more you will come to love me, and the more you will be able to love others. And so I think that was the biggest takeaway for me from the retreat is, yeah, we have all of these tools, but we have to use them in order to be equipped to better love our Father and love others and reach this world that is lost. Because in the end, like, that's all there is, you know? And I mean, even just like the first hour of Cost of Discipleship, I was just like humbled again. I'm like, man, God, like that's all there is just to obey you, you know? He who believes obeys, and he who obeys believes, you know? And so like, I will love and I will obey. And so just to reiterate, there are a couple of verses I had. Like 1 John, not 1 Jonathan, 5:2 and 5:3. By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep his commandments. Verse 3, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Like, they're not burdensome, they're not hard, they're not a law to be obeyed. I mean, just go to Psalm 19, that's like 176 verses of people just being like, yeah, this thing's awesome, you know? So go check that out sometime. And then Ecclesiastes 12:13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter, fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And then Philippians 2:12 through 13. Wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but much more in my absence, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God which worketh in you both to will and to do his good pleasure. Man, to work out our faith with a fear and a trembling pleases our Father. And like, he is holy, holy, holy. And the fact that we, so far from that, can still do things that are pleasing to him simply by responding to his word and knowing it is just, it devastates me. So yeah, that's me. And thank you guys for listening.